Shamai! Fed up of having to carry really heavy folders of music around and would much prefer to have it all digital on something like this? Well, keep watching. I am planning on doing a video to show you some really useful apps to do with ukulele for your iPad. But I've been inspired recently by helping my mother put a lot of recipes onto her iPad using books or iBooks. I was quite surprised she didn't know how to do it actually, because she's quite tech savvy. But it's been so helpful to her, I thought I would dive straight in today to show you how you can turn big folders of sheet music and paper music, really heavy to lug around, into really easy digital formats on your iPads. I am focusing on iPads specifically today, but if you want me to do a video to show you how to do it on an Android, because I have got a Samsung tablet in the house, please feel free, drop a comment below and I'll look into that too. So why is digital music or music sheets or chord sheets so much better? Right, basically, these are very heavy, very bulky. If you've got a wobbly music stand or you just don't want to be lugging this kind of thing around, you can literally fit so many of these great big huge folders onto a little iPad. You can then get a nice iPad stand in this case. All right, just to give you some examples, I've got this just in a case which will sit on my desk quite nicely, but I'll show you another desk stand in a minute. You can also get, similar to a music stand, a foldable iPad stand, which great for carrying your iPad around, nice and safe. You can raise it at different heights to have it standing or sitting down. You can even add attachments to it like a ukulele hanger. Okay, so it's much easier to use. I'm just getting this. This is another kind of stand. So there we go. This is what I'm going to be using today, a really nice desk stand. Okay, so you've got lots of options, but the idea is making it much easier for you to lug around music. So what made me swap to digital music? I think I mentioned it in another video actually. I was doing a gig a few years ago, playing with my band in a pub, and we had very similar folders to this. Hundreds and hundreds of sheets in it, and mid-gig, my folder decided to collapse. It was an absolute nightmare. The whole folder fell apart. There was hundreds of sheets of music all over the floor in the middle of the gig. I got through it that night, but driving home, I decided that was it. Enough is enough. I spent the next couple of days scanning the actual pieces of paper into a normal scanner, put them on my PC, and then I will show you later how to do it, but then I transferred them from my PC onto my iPad. So of course the main advantage is ease of carrying all your music around, but there is another great advantage as well, is you can organize it much better. Rather than just having sheets and sheets of paper looking for that one sheet, okay, or song, you can organize it on your iPad. Now, I'm actually going to show you a free app that comes with your iPad or your iPhone today called Books, or iBooks it's sometimes known as. It generally comes pre-installed, but if you do have a device, an Apple device that it isn't installed on, just go to the App Store, download it for free. I know that there are some fantastic apps for sorting out your sheet music. OnSong is one I know of. I haven't gone down that route purely because I've always found iBooks to be enough for me to organise it. All right, maybe it's something I'll look at in the future, but for today, keeping it simple and keeping it free. So I'm going to use this lovely little desk stand today with my iPad. I'm keeping the iPad in portrait mode. In other words, standing upright. Why? because that's the way most chord sheets and sheet music look. Whenever I'm using my iPad to read music, this is the way I would do it. So you can see my iPad now. I'm just going to click on books for a minute just to give you an idea of what it looks like. Let me take these off. So first of all, the main page you come across is called your library. And there we go. There's my library here now. It's just either a long list, or you can change it to see the actual front covers of whatever it is you're looking at. I personally prefer to keep it as a list just because I can put it into alphabetical order and I find it much quicker for scrolling. But just to give you an idea very quickly, if I start to scroll, okay, I'm just going to keep scrolling for now. I've got an awful lot of music. I'm about halfway down. Okay, so this is what I mean. You can store enormous amounts of music in your books on your iPad, and it doesn't take up huge amounts of room. When you consider how much music in folders, how much it can pile up, this is such a convenient way of keeping your music. So this is just the main library page at the minute. I'm going to show you more to do with collections shortly, but the very first thing I want to do is explain how do you get from a piece of paper or an internet page, whether it be on your iPad or on your PC or computer, how does it get from that sheet into a digital format on your iPad? Let's look at a PC first of all. You're scrolling through something, you've come across a great website, and you've found a piece of music that you want to use. So for example, I've gone to Ukulele, one of my most favourite sites for finding ukulele chord charts. I find the print button on there, and this is the secret. You go to print it as you would do normally, and there's an option on there which is save as PDF. Okay, and all that does is literally take the sheet that you're looking at and saves it as a PDF. You put it into a folder or a file that you know where it's stored. Hey presto, there's your digital or digitalized sheet music. Okay, so as we're still on the PCs at the minute, how do you get your PDFs from your PC onto your iPad? You've got a couple of different options. The easiest one is if it's just one or two sheets, or even, several, you just email them to yourself. Okay, you can actually email several PDFs at a time. You would then open them up onto your iPad, okay, and pop them into books. Let's do that now. So I'm going to go and open up my emails, find the email that I've just sent myself with some ukulele chord charts. So in this case, Uke Chords Fly Moon. I open that up and you can see there are two files in there that I've sent myself. They both say PDF. I'll click on Fly Me to the Moon. It opens up on my iPad. You can see there, just like you would normally see a chord chart. Shame this one's gone on to 2 pages, but so I'm looking in the top right corner on my iPad screen. There is the share button. I click on that and then I'm looking for my book or books. Now it's not there at the minute. Don't panic. Click on more and I'm looking for books. There we go. I click on my books and look at that. Fly Me to the Moon has suddenly appeared in my books. Okay, it really is that easy. And this is why I do use emailing back and forth quite a lot. So I've got my Fly Me to the Moon. I'm in my library at the minute. Okay, I will show you shortly how to organize it. Got more PDFs? You just go back to your Gmail. Go back to the original email, click on the next PDF and do exactly the same. There we are. Click on share, send it to books, and it will suddenly appear in your library a couple of seconds later. Okay, there we go. And if you're wondering what that big tick is, again, I will explain how to write on your music in a few minutes. Now, by far the easiest way of getting your chord sheets onto your iPad is to actually search for them on your iPad. So we'll do that right now. So you just go and browse the interweb in exactly the same way as you normally would. I'm this time going to go and look at Jim's songbook, okay? That and Uku tabs are my go-tos, but often you can find random sheet music or chord sheets or PDFs, okay? And you do exactly the same process as I just showed you a moment ago. Either email it to yourself or watch this. So I'm going to Jim's ukulele book. If you haven't been there, it is a fantastic resource of thousands of songs in various keys for the ukulele. In fact, you can transpose any song you like. So for now, I'm just going to go and choose a random song. Let's have a little look at 99 Red Balloons. So there we go. I've got my PDF by there. And all I'm going to do now is click the share button at the top, okay, and do exactly the same as we did a few seconds ago with our emails. Click on more, find our books, and then there we go. There's our 99 red balloons, all in a lovely PDF format, okay, and remember you've got to scroll across sometimes to see how many pages it is. I then can go back into my library. Now then, just while we're here, can you notice it's named it as untitled? Okay, obviously hasn't read a file name for the PDF. Don't panic. If you look on the right-hand side of the page, there are 3 dots. If I click on those 3 dots, there's one in there that says rename. At this point, I just put in the correct title for it. I do like to keep the titles nice and neat because it helps me, because I tend to keep everything in alphabetical order. So 99 red balloons. There we go. Okay, don't worry about unknown author. It's the titles it goes on. And if you notice it says 50%, again, don't panic. That just means it's in the iCloud. As soon as you click on it, it'll download the whole thing, okay? Again, let's just show you very, very quickly how easy it is to go and find a chord chart. Let's look at Uku tabs this time. Okay, so same process as you saw me doing on the PC a few minutes ago. Let's have a little look at Hey There, Delilah. All right, now, if I was on a PC, I could press print, and that would save as PDF. In this case, okay, there's the sheet that I'm looking for. Okay, I'm going to click share at the top. I'm going to find my book. Sometimes it appears in this column, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why. Okay, click on my books and give it a few seconds, and hey presto, it'll suddenly appear. There we go. It doesn't take long at all. Okay, and then I can go back to my library, see it's there again. It's done an untitled for now. Not a big deal. I go in, I rename, and there we go. Let's just do this very, very quickly. Hey there, Delilah. And within a minute or two, we've suddenly got chord sheets in books. It is actually possible to have whole PDF booklets in your books. I'll talk more about organising in a minute, but just to give you an example, if I go and click on our Ukuleleans school songbook, there we go. All right, you can actually see if I go to the very first page and then just scroll through, is 26 pages of this. This is really handy if you've got big, thick, I say thick, not as in like the big folder down there, but you've got several pages of a songbook and it just all neatly sits in your iPad. There is another sneaky way of getting things into your books and your iPad as well, and that is actually to take pictures. iBooks will accept images. Now, there have been a couple of times when I've been somewhere and there's been literally a piece of paper and nobody had a spare, so I've quickly taken a photograph with my iPad and put it into books. Let's just quickly show. It's exactly the same way as doing it with a PDF. So I'm in my normal, as you can see, pictures, but there I could see I had a music sheet. So that's obviously a photo that I have taken on Pinterest at some point. And I literally, exactly the same as before, click share. I could actually see books had appeared then. So there's my books. And this is a photo or an image that is now going across. Okay, it's not always the bestest of qualities, especially if you're taking an actual photograph, but in an emergency, it works. I know I've covered quite a lot of things so far. You can always pause, stop, rewind, go back and check things. Okay, I know I had to go over a couple of things with my mother a few times doing this, all right? But I promise you, for a start, you can't break anything. Go and press the buttons on your iPad, all right? But it is just worth playing with it. And now she's like putting things left, right, and centre in there. Organising your iBooks. Right, there's our picture that we just sent ourselves a second ago. Right, so I'm on my main library page, and as I showed you a few moments ago, there is a huge amount of music on there. I can sort it. I can sort it into the most recent. I can sort it into the title, the alphabet. I can sort it into the author. I tend to keep this one on recent, so if something comes in and I haven't put it into a collection, I know where it is. So, collections. Okay, there is a menu that's come up on the left hand side of the screen now, and if I just look, all right, I don't ever bother with the top ones, okay, but you can notice there PDFs, there's 879 sheets in here so far. All right, there are my books, and we've got, this is where the music starts: bass music, bass uke, bass jacks and swings, ukulele music, ukulele tabs, and so on and so on. These are my little sort of collections within the library, or your folders to keep music in. So if we just first of all, if you want to edit this, in other words, if you want to change the order of it, you click on edit up there. I might decide I want to move my bass uke examples below my bass jacks and swing. So I would just like that and pull it and do so. If I want to get rid of it, I click on delete. Okay, so there we go. That's how you edit your actual collections. Just before we go into collections, all right, if I click edit up here, this is where you would add something to a collection. So let's go, hey there Delilah, I've just put it onto my iPad, I've selected it. Let's do 99 red balloons as well. And I click on the bottom of the screen to add to. And then I find the collection I want to put it into. For now, it's going in my ukulele music collection. I tend to put everything in there if it's not a particular club related, and then move it around afterwards, okay? So now I go to my collection, I click on ukulele music, and there we go. There's 99 red balloons have just gone in. If I sort by recent, you can see hey there Delilah as well. Okay, so what I've done is moved those two sheets into one collection. I've put it back onto title now because, as I said, it's much easier if everything's in alphabetical order. So I'm scrolling through. I want to find a particular song that I like. Let's have a little look at oh, there you are. In fact, I found other hey there Delilahs, quite a few of them. I'm a Believer, the Monkeys. In fact, complete coincidence, I've just done the play along. So I would click on this piece of sheet music or chord chart, and there we go. I can see it on my screen. I can, if I'm very careful, actually zoom in a little bit to make it a little bit larger if I need to, or scroll out. And this was actually a good choice because, as you can see, there have been things written on this. Now, sheet music, chord charts, yes, you can write all sorts of things over it, you know, little reminders to yourself, or, you know, in fact, chord charts to help you. You can do exactly the same on your iPad. So I'm going to go and try and find a nice clean one. Let's go to the top one, 99 red balloons. Okay. So on here now, if I actually click on the PDF, you can see right at the top, we've got another little menu. As I said, go and click on these things. It's the only way of learning how it all works. So if I click on the first one, I can make it smaller or zoom back in. If I want to just share this one particular song with somebody, I'd click on share. Now, another brilliant feature of having digital music is I could airdrop it to somebody else in the room. We do this all the time when I play with Cool Hand Ukes, the adult club, or in fact we do it in school if somebody's got a device. But you would just click on airdrop and it would send this PDF over to their device as well. All right, this is why it is so much easier. So I'm back on my red balloons, 99 red balloons. If I keep looking across on the top, on the right hand side, there are various things I can do. I can make it less bright or very bright. Okay. You can do searches and things. This is only, it's not very big, but this is where it gets interesting. I can bring up a pencil or a pen or a highlighter and write myself little notes on here. So for example, if I wanted to say, I'm not starting to play until the second verse, I would choose a pencil for myself. Let's do a different colour to what is there. I could then, oh, hang on. There we go. All right, if you make mistakes, you just go back or use the rubber. It's not the end of the world. I would make a little arrow to myself here, and I would write start. Okay, and I would know, obviously I'd do it a bit neater if I was doing it properly, and then I would know that is where I start, not at the top. Another thing, you do end up with different versions of things. They might be in different keys, or they may be in, a newer edited version. My little trick with this one is to put a big tick, and then I know, I'll close the pen feature down now. I know that if I'm scrolling through that, okay, I know it's difficult to see, but there is the tick on there. All right, I can see that is the version that I'm using. You can see it even bigger when I look at the pictures or the front covers. Okay, and if at any point in the future you want to go back in and alter it, not a problem. You just go in, get the rubber and rub things out. Okay, so it's a really, really good way of being able to alter, write, remind anything you need on the actual chord chart or piece of music. So reminder, how do I add it to a collection? I go back to my library, I click on edit, I select and add to, doing it that way. How do I make a new collection? I go to collections, scroll down to the bottom and click on new collection, ukulele, music, 2021. Okay, and that suddenly appears and I can go into it, but of course there's no music in at the minute. I'd go back to the library, add to. So let's try that. Edit. I'm a Believer, the Monkeys. Add to. Find my new collection, ukulele music 2021, add to, I go back to my collection, and it's suddenly appeared in there too. Now then, I did mention sort of books, and I'm still talking about sheet or chord chart books. I'm not talking about real ebooks. Some great places to go and search for music online. And remember now, you've got a device, you're not printing things out, you're not having to store the music. You can suddenly keep a huge amount of ukulele music for yourself. Try searching very often for clubs. The Moselales is one of my favourite ones. It sort of caught my eye years ago. I actually went to music college in Birmingham, and Moseley is a part of Birmingham. So I thought, oh, look at that, they've got a ukulele club. And I went and had a little look at their website and discovered that, like so many other wonderful ukulele clubs as well, they publish their books each year. All right, let's just click on a random one in a minute. You can see, well, I'm up to, I think it's about book 10. Let's have a look at book 10, okay? And there is a huge amount of music here for you to check. All right. Again, by far the easiest thing to do is to go down the very bottom, and you can see the cover book in this case, and very, very nicely, they've actually put all the page numbers as well. All right. So you can have a quick look. Oh, I really fancy doing that song. Go and check it out. And it's all on your iPad. So easy. If I'd printed this booklet out, I know, because I have printed out a lot of the Moselales in the past, the actual booklet is about that thick. So that's a lot of paper, and it's just one book on your iPad. Right, I'll wind it up there. I know there is a lot of information I've just gone through. It will take you a while, okay? By far the best way of doing it is just, first of all, to go and have a look at iBooks and press on the buttons. You're not going to break anything. Have a little go of emailing yourself or browsing the internet on your iPad and then sharing it into books. And once you've got a couple in there, then the fun starts by organising everything. So the benefits of digitalizing or converting your sheets and your chord sheets and your music sheets into digital format. First of all, the most obvious is you're not lugging this kind of thing around, okay? You can carry and store far, far more music than you could have ever dreamt of doing. You can share your music really easily by airdropping it or emailing it to somebody, and it's boom, 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 it's straight there. You can organise your music far better, and you can write on your music in books as well. So if you want to get rid of your wobbly music stands and lugging heavy music around, have a go of digital formatting your music, okay? I know it can take a while. It's taken me a good few years to get everything onto my iPad. By far the longest process for me was actually scanning physical music into the PC and then popping it across. But once you get into the hang of doing it, it's so much easier, and you'll find just opening up an email, opening up the PDF, straight over to books, job done. So those are the advantages that I found. If you've found any more advantages, please feel free to let me know. If people want me to have a look at an Android device or other tablets, Samsung or Lenovo, let me know in the comments, because I have got another tablet in the house. It's not one I normally use, but I'm pretty sure there are ways of doing it as well. I've kept it free today. There are other apps that you can really organise your music and transpose all sorts of things, okay? But this is nice and straightforward. And the other big advantage I just forgot to mention is suddenly they just open up on all your different devices. I've got my iPad, okay? I'll put it in on my iPad. The next thing, it's on my phone. The next thing, it's on my MacBook or I've got a MacBook, on my mini Mac or my Mac computer. I've actually got two iPads because I've got a Works one. So it doesn't matter where I download it originally, it ends up on all my devices. And yeah, I can't read iBooks on my phone. I'd be like, oh, I can't see it. But you get the idea. It just magically appears. So there we go. I do hope this has helped. I know there is a lot of information in this video. All right, it may well be a case of going back and doing it step by step, or actually having your iPad there whilst you're watching the video. But the easiest thing with any device is to go clicking on it and discovering it yourself. If you've got a comment or a question, as always, please feel free. Drop it below, give us a like if you've enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos. Thank you for watching.